Welcome to Founders Club, the show for real estate entrepreneurs.
So you've had all of these things that you've done in your career, right? You've lived the highs, the amazing times of being a pro skater. You've had the big exit on the business. You're working on a real estate fund for long-term wealth creation.
Yeah.
What has brought you the most joy over the years? And not in terms of like which one of those three, but I just mean in general, like what really gets you excited about the things you've been doing?
Dude, truthfully, I'd probably have to say there's been like bits and pieces of each one. I think like, with skating, it was, I got to experience something that most people don't get to experience. And I think that was something pretty cool.
Yeah.
For like a kid from Newbury Park to like, find skateboarding, end up turning it into a career and traveling the world. That was something that like I recognized was, I was lucky in a sense to experience that. The brewery, I think, the thing I'm most thankful for the brewery was what we learned through it. And then also, when you're able to give money back to people who trust in you, that's a feeling that I have never experienced prior to that.
That's great.
I think with what I'm doing now is probably the most, it's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done, actually. And I think it's because this is the first time where it hasn't been so selfish, like truthfully. Like prior to me losing my career, like it was all about me.
It's not just about Mikey.
No, and it was for a long time. That was most of my life, to tell you the truth.
That's very cool.
And when I had to figure out what my purpose was, I had to reevaluate what was important to me. And I was married and a dad at that point. So there was a part where I had to take a step back and work on being more selfless. And there is a feeling I get now, even if it's people I don't know, if it's a DM or a comment that's just like, dude, thank you. I have never looked at it that way. I'm so glad you're doing this. That's a feeling that is very new for me. It's something that feels incredibly rewarding. And to tell you the truth, the relationship I have now with my wife and kids is something that I want everyone to experience, because I was married and had kids prior to me coming to this idea of like, it's not about me.
Yeah.
And my life is just more blessed now beyond the money. It's like, it's just, we're happier and there's way more joy in our life because of it.
Yeah, you seem genuinely happy, which is,
it's something I don't take lightly, because I know there's a lot of people that are struggling with that.
Yeah.
I think what puts me in a position of feeling so driven to do this is that I've experienced both sides of it. Mm-hmm. And I know that like, it's not luck that gives you happiness, right? It's so funny. It's usually the things that aren't easy actually bring you the most joy, right? Like it's very easy for us to be selfish. It's really easy for me to go, yo, dog, like, I'm just doing my thing.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna stay in my lane.
That's easy, but it's not rewarding. The thing that's hard is going, hey, you know what? I'm gonna put you first. Especially when you say something bad about me, and then I'm gonna really put you first. Like that's where like you actually create more joy. It just takes more work.
Right.
And that's something that I've learned later in my life, but my life's pretty short, so I still have a lot of room to increase or to improve on it. But it's something that can be done.
A lot more to do.
Yeah.
The exciting part too is this real estate fund is something that won't ever expire.
Seriously, I can't tell you how awesome that is.
You could do that forever, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So just a question off Facebook. I posted that we were going to be interviewing you, and this is from Eric Upchurch. So shout out to Eric. You seem to have the X factor with all of the things that you've done in your career. What would you say is the one thing that's really driven you to that success in your endeavors?
Such a great question. Oh man, where do I even begin with this? Everything that I've been able to accomplish has been because of other people. And I say that in the sense of I've always surrounded myself with people who are better at things that I'm not good at. Mm-hmm. And so whether it was Saint Archer or Sovereign or Commune, I've been very self-aware on what my strengths and what my weaknesses are. And I've been willing to not have to be the focal point, in a sense, of allowing other people to succeed and flourish in an area that I can, right? And I think a lot of people get held up on wanting to take all the credit. And what stops, what I would say limits their growth is if you want all the credit, it's hard to have other people get behind you and want to build something great.
Yeah.
But if you're willing to take a step back and go, you know what? This is all of us together. Let's all glorify each other. Let's all show each other strengths, and we're all going to win. And that's how I've always tried to build things. I've never had to be the sole owner. I've always tried to have people around me and give them as much praise as ultimately I think they would give me. And I think that's how you create magic.
Great advice too. Just build a team, outsource your weaknesses.
So let me add to that. If you can't build a company that you can walk away from, you're not building a company correctly.
Amen.
Right? But that's hard for people to do.
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to say, hey, you know what? You got this.
Right.
I trust you.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
You know, but like that should be your goal. But you have to have a lot of confidence in yourself to go, you know what? These guys got this. I could take a step back, and somebody might question me and go, hey, but these guys are doing this. Like, aren't you supposed to be doing that? Well, no. Actually, Oliver's better than me at that.
Yeah.
He actually kills it at that. I'm not great at that. It's hard for people to admit that people are better than them at things.
I love too how you're spreading the love around too at that point, right?
Yeah.
It's not the Mikey show. It's let's bring everyone up together.
Yeah.
Kind of a vibe.
But I think that's what I experienced as a kid. Thankfully, that was the group around me. They built other people to succeed, and I saw how that worked, and I saw how that felt to me. Right? Like, dude, Randy did not have to do that for me.
Right.
Seriously.
It's amazing. No, it's
Randy
amazing.
could have just been, I got you, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He built me up.
Yeah.
And it was like, I experienced what that did for my life, and I want to do that for others. It's like.
And what's fascinating is how many times he showed up in your life over the years.
He's my partner now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like.
It's really fascinating.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
cool.
crazy.
It's, yeah. So, I don't know. I think, like, just, like, get to a point of being, like, humble and selfless. As funny as it sounds, we think humble and selfless means anti-success. That's been the key to my success, truthfully.
Great. It's really great.
Yeah.
To listen to this full Founders Club interview, go to foundersclub.tv.